Have you ever gone to a florist or a supermarket where they sell flowers and suddenly you come across these sort of flowers? They're beautiful. These are known as the Arum lilies or the Calla lilies, but they're actually the same family, except one is different from the other by the shape of their leaves. Now, what happens is that this is a calla and it's more tightly wound, whereas this one is an arum because it's actually quite opened. So today I'm going to talk about how to propagate and learn more about these flowers, because you too can have them in your garden. My name is Alice. Welcome back. I'm the Red Soil Gardener. As I mentioned earlier, there are two different types of lilies. Now we talk about the Arum lily, which are these lovely white ones, which have actually quite open flowers. And then we have the Calla lily, and it's very different from the Calla lily. But the thing about these lilies, they're not actually lilies because they all start from rhizomes, whereas lilies have bulbs, and this is what this plant doesn't have, and we'll look at it. Now, the other thing about this particular plant is actually the foliage, and I think this is what is so striking. It has these beautiful big leaves. This one in particular, this arrowhead looking leaf, it's speckled, and the beauty about these speckles is that it does add that extra touch, or let's say texture, to this beautiful plant. Now this is another of the Arum or Calla lily. Now this one does not have the speckled leaves, but again it's the same species. Now the thing about Calla lilies or Arum lilies is the flower. But before I do this, let me just put on my gloves, as sometimes the sap of the flower does cause an irritation, so I don't want to get that. So let me put this on. And so here we are with this flower. Now, what is intriguing, as I mentioned before, this white bit is actually the spathe, and the spathe, this bit, is the modified leaf. Now, if you want to look for the flower, it's the yellow bit inside, and it's the spanix. And you see, this is where you get your seed pods forming, and this is what is the flower. So now that we understand that that is the flower and that's where the seed forms, it becomes like a capsule full of seeds. So if you do want to use a seed propagation, what you need to do, if this is attached to the mother plant, is wait until the seeds completely dry and then remove the plant, the flower, from the mother plant, and that is what you will use for a seed propagation. So now if we look at all the flowers of the Calla and the Arum, we have the same structure. So what I'm going to do is, this one is so tightly woven, as you see, it's not opened, but let me open it up and look for that flower. And there it is. So this is the modified leaf, and then you have your spanix, which is the flower. So if you do go to your florist or you go to your supermarket in the flower section, you may even see shorter ones, smaller ones, but these are Calla lilies. These are the small Calla lilies, and they have so many different cultivars of the Calla lily, but basically the principle is the same and propagation is the same. So let me put these back and let's have a look at our Calla lily stroke Arum lily. as I mentioned to you before, these lilies are not really lilies because they don't grow from bulbs, but they do have rhizomes. Now, the thing about this particular plant is that it likes to have a well-drained soil. And basically, it likes a moist soil, but not soggy, because once again is that when you're dealing with rhizomes, is that once you do have overwatering, you rot the rhizome and the plant dies. So always just remember to actually have it well drained, but moist, not soggy. Now, the other thing about this plant, it does work well in full sun, but it also works well in partial sun. So if you're living in an area that has a lot of heat, like heat waves, whatever, is that I would actually put it in partial sun. But however, if you're living in a place where it's pretty moderate, I would actually have it in full sun, because when you do have full sun, the more it blooms. In terms of watering, I would do it once a week. But when you do start getting the blooms, do it a bit more regularly, because it does help the blooms to come into fruition. A lot of people, like in Europe or in America, you do have this plant as an indoor plant, because first of all, let's go back, is they are great in wet areas. In a pond, for example, some of them can actually tolerate that, just having a basket in a pond, and it will flower. Other people will have it in borders, or it's beautiful when you put it as a clump in your garden, so you can get all these beautiful flowers. But as an indoor plant, put it close to a sunny window, and also what you need to do is move it away from your AC or heater, and it should do well, and water it. As you notice, is leaf span is quite wide. So if I was to plant this, I would actually do it about 6 inches to 16 inches apart, because then you will get those leaves really spreading out. If you do it too close, then you'll get that suffocation of the leaves. As I mentioned earlier, is that you will get your blooms up to fall, or let's say summer and early fall. And then the plant does go into dormancy, and usually it will go into dormancy when the temperatures drop to about -4 degrees Celsius. Now, what happens is that when you do notice that the plant is going into dormancy, what happens is the leaves start turning yellow. And once they do turn yellow, then you know that basically it's going through this dormant period. Now, you have to protect that rhizome, because if you're living, let's assume, in a country that you don't get frost or freezing temperatures that will affect your rhizome, then you could actually leave the rhizome in the soil and then just cover it, mulch it, cover it, or put some straw on top. I think we've done this before with the Calla Lilies and the agapanthus, is shelter it. However, if it is a time where you live in a place where you do get freezing temperatures and you do get the first frost, I would actually use this particular time to do your repotting for the next season. So I would actually remove the rhizome and clean it up. You can either pot it first of all, or else what you do with the rhizome, clean it up, leave it, you could put some vermiculite on top of it so it absorbs the moisture, and keep it in your basement or your cupboard in a dry area, and then in spring bring it out. If you don't get your blooms, because this is what it's all about, do move it slightly in the sun. And the other thing is that if your leaves do droop, it could be overwatering or underwatering, or even you could have some sort of fungal infection that causes rot. So I would actually look at the roots. You cannot propagate this plant by doing a water propagation or whatever, because it's all in the rhizome. So let's have a look at the rhizome, and then we get an idea what the plant is all about. Now, it's always good to look at your plants, and once you do look at your plant, you know, the rooting structure, then you do understand how to propagate and what to do with the particular plant. So all these are babies from the rhizome, and these are potentials for being propagated, these little babies here. So what we're going to do is actually open it up and look for the mother rhizome and then get a better picture. So where the rhizome is actually here in the middle. This is the rhizome here, and that's where it all happens. Now what I'm going to do here is, we won't disturb this one very much. I'm going to pot that. So all these babies will eventually, as you see, it's forming its own rhizome here, is they will basically mature and you'll get bigger rhizomes. Now what I'm going to do, because I've got all these little babies, I'm going to actually pot it here, and then we can follow the progress on the Instagram page and we'll see the development. But basically it's through division and you cannot propagate from leaf. So now I'm going to move this here, and unfortunately I've broken a leaf, but not to worry. So I'm just going to snip that leaf off, just from here, maybe from there. Okay, so I'm going to put all these little babies with their pups in here, and remember we've got all these little babies coming up, so I think it's a success story here. Here we go. There we go. I'm going to put this one here in the middle, just like that. Make it bigger. So there we go. Just making sure that the crown, which is the bit between the roots and leaves, is not submerged. I'm going to put this one in. I might even just snip some of these roots, so you don't want to fold them in. And I'm going to put this one here, just here in the corner. I'm just going to hold it there and go in. And to put this one in here. I did put water on my soil mix because we don't want a transplant shock. And before, when I did uproot them, they've been sitting in my garden in a plastic bag, which I've watered all the time until we've removed it. And out of that, I put it straight in water, kept it there for half a day, and then transplanted it here, because we don't want a very dramatic transition in here that you end up getting transplant shock. So with this one, I'm just going to keep it here and keep it in the shade so that it can get stronger. And once it does get stronger, I will move it into a less sunny place. And eventually, this is where I keep my Arum / Callas, underneath the tree, because that's where it gets its afternoon sun, but in the morning sun is a bit more shady, but it does get its heat. So they're all going to go into that corner. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching this channel. Don't forget to like and share, and also press that notification button, and don't forget to subscribe, because it does mean a lot to us. And always follow us on our Instagram page. We have tips there. Also, do make your comments. I always do try to answer. And also, I'd love to learn, because we're all learning from each other. And also, don't forget to introduce this in your gardens, because it is coming into spring and it's a perfect time to actually start growing them in your garden, or multiplying your stock that you've kept in your basement or your cupboard. Bring them out and start doing it in your garden, planting. Thank you so much and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.